friends, and thank you very much for being here this afternoon. I will have a briefing to make regarding the visit of the Foreign Minister of Singapore. Following that, I will also update you on the security situation regarding Indian nationals in Iraq. As usual, I will first take questions on the first topic that I speak, and then will be willing to answer questions on the other topic that I speak on. For subsequent to that, if any of you have questions on any other things, I will try and respond to them to the best of my ability, because sometimes you have questions of a breaking news nature. I may not be updated about those events. But that said, I will give it a shot. The External Affairs Minister today met the Foreign Minister and the Minister of Law of Singapore, Mr. Shanmugam. It may be recalled that yesterday India had launched a Singapore satellite, Telos-1, and this reflects the close cooperation between India and Singapore. The focus of the discussions were largely economic. Perhaps many of you are aware that Singapore is the source of the largest FDI flow into India last year. It is also the destination of the largest flows of foreign investment from India abroad last year. So in terms of our economic relationship, it is a very robust relationship. In terms of our trade ties, Singapore and India have the largest trading relationship between India and any ASEAN country. It is with this background that the two leaders exchange views on possibilities of cooperation in the economic sphere. One of the issues that was discussed was relating to the review of the CEPA. This is the second review of the CEPA. It was felt that the negotiators should show adequate flexibility to move ahead and have a review completed at an early date. There was a fairly prolonged and detailed discussion about the possibility of Singapore companies participating in our infrastructure development projects. And these projects are in the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, in the Chennai-Bangalore Industrial Corridor, in the Northeast, as well as in the Buddhist circuit. Now, the focus principally in terms of Singapore investments in these infrastructural areas was on urban development projects and the efficient delivery of urban services. Singapore has benchmarked itself against best practices globally, and it would be useful for us to gain from that knowledge that has been accrued by Singapore over a long period in terms of urban development, urban renewal, and urban management. These include smart cities. As you are aware that there are proposals for setting up smart cities in the DMIC, and the intention is to get Singapore companies interested in working with Indian companies on these smart cities that we are projecting as part of the DMIC corridor. The second set of discussions related to the 50th anniversary of setting up diplomatic relations between Singapore and India. These celebrations would be kicked off on the 16th of August this year for a year-long period. The External Affairs Minister has accepted the invitation of the Singapore Foreign Minister to visit Singapore to flag off these anniversary celebrations. As part of that anniversary celebrations, we propose to have state visits exchanged between the two countries. Also, there will be, the intention is to have stamps released, publications released, as well as pursue the inauguration of a world-class skills center during the 50th anniversary celebrations. As you are aware, India's new government is focused on skill, scale, and speed. This new world-class skills center, which was initiated in 2012 as part of an MOU when the Singapore Prime Minister visited India, would be inaugurated as part of a tangible manifestation of India-Singapore relations in terms of improving skills. There was also a discussion about people-to-people exchanges between India and Singapore, greater exchanges in terms of parliamentarians, jurists, academicians, scientists, and artists. Singapore plans to have a year-long celebration with every month being focused on one aspect of its relationship with India. So this is going to start from August this year and will continue till 2015, July. There was also a discussion regarding a recent report released on the events in Little India. And the two sides exchange views on that. I will stop on this, and if you have any questions on Singapore, I will take them. Now let me turn to the other important area, and that relates to the security situation of Indians in Iraq. I again begin with a plea, and this time this plea is communicated to me directly just a few minutes ago from the humanitarian agencies in Iraq as well as the government of Iraq. And that is, they have requested me to request you, the Indian media, to please be restrained in what you are trying to achieve. I understand that both the assessment of the Red Crescent as well as the government authorities in Iraq is that the approach that many of you are following is endangering the lives of those nurses as well as those held in captivity. They have requested me to please request you not to do the things that you are doing, trying to contact nurses on telephone, on mobiles, wanting to know hour by hour information, even while they are caught in a conflict zone. As you know, there is conflict going on in Tikrit, and they have requested me to let you know that you are endangering the lives of those Indians. I had mentioned this earlier to you, but it didn't seem to have any impact. But now my request to you is, with folded hands, please at least adhere to what the Iraqi authorities themselves are saying. They find it extremely intrusive, they find it extremely disconcerting, and they have requested that to please back off, otherwise you will jeopardize the lives of those Indian nationals who are currently in extreme difficulties. That said, let me go to the factual situation. The factual situation on the ground in the conflict areas. Number one, as regards the nurses, there has been bombing and firing in the vicinity of their building. They have sought refuge in their basements and are extremely in a delicate situation. We have informed, as I have told you previously, the Iraqi government agencies of their location. And we remain hopeful that despite these difficulties, we will be able to extricate them from what is an extremely difficult situation. I will not get into further details, and I would request you to please understand that even while there is an ongoing conflict, we cannot give you further details, but they remain safe, they remain unharmed as of now. As regards the non-conflict areas, our mobile teams are active. We have, since, as I mentioned to you yesterday, 94 Indian nationals were to travel to India. Since then, the total has risen. We have bought tickets for 233 today. This includes the 94 that were yesterday. So approximately, you can work out the figures. Those numbers are now booked to fly out to India. For those of you who would like to have a broad regional distribution, I do not know the states, but I'd like to tell you the most significant number are from the northern part of India because their tickets are booked to come to Delhi. After that, the largest other number is from to Hyderabad. Then there are a limited number to Kerala, very small numbers to Kerala and Tamil Nadu, but these are in single digits. in terms of our teams who are interacting with Indian nationals, the numbers of Indians who would like to return and who have confirmed to our mobile teams is approximately 1,000. Also, we are finding that there are significant numbers who have elected to stay back of their own accord, despite our advising them, despite our indicating to them that we stand ready to provide assistance in form of a return ticket, as well as helping them with their legal dues, with their contractual obligations with their employers. That's where we are in terms of the effort that we have launched to facilitate the return of Indian nationals back from Iraq in the areas where there is no conflict. I think I will stop there, and I'm willing to take any questions on either of these two or on anything else as we proceed. So let's start with the Singapore meeting. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Just a minute, microphone.
That trade relations discussed.
Pardon?
You mentioned that trade relations were discussed.
Yes.
When the two foreign ministers met. Were any discussions around the tax provisions, the taxation regime in India? Because India proposes to tax businesses that are routed through Singapore through the general anti-avoidance rules, which is called GAR, and that's supposed to be in effect from April 2015. Any discussions around GAR?
No, there were no discussions on GAR. Only the discussions that were centered on the need to move trade ahead, because trade has dipped slightly last year compared to year before. And the focus was on how we could now focus on try and improve and increase our trade, because Singapore and India have a very robust trade relationship. And there, my understanding is there are already 4,000 to 4,000 Indian companies based in Singapore. So the idea is to move it ahead rather than stagnate at a certain place. But there was no discussion of GAR at all. Yes, Ranjit?
You referred to this world-class skill center. Can you give us some details? What is this?
My understanding is that this is a greenfield skill center. It is to provide skills for those who are not going to the normal stream of education in terms of undergraduation. These are technical skills. Singapore has a very good experience of this, and there is a world-class skill center that was agreed to with an MOU in 2012, and the idea is to ensure that it is inaugurated during the 50th anniversary celebrations of diplomatic relations. I can provide you further details of this. If any of you are interested, you could meet me separately, and there are plenty of details available of what this is. I think it is based in the place you are. Yes. Yes, sir. Just a minute.
There are reports that the hospital in Tikrit, where the 46 Indian nurses were there,
no, we are not talking of that. We are finishing Singapore first,
okay,
then we will talk. Anyone else on related to Singapore? Okay. Yeah, now you can ask.
There are reports that the hospital in Tikrit is fully captured by the militants, and also there are reports that the militants are asking the nurses to vacate the hospital. Is there any confirmation?
I think exactly these sort of reports was what I was telling you just now about. Please do not go by hearsay. After all, you are basing yourself on information which is second hand and third hand. Please do not go by information which is not confirmed. Let me tell you, the nurses are safe. They are in touch with the mission. The mission is advising them what to do. At this stage, they have not gone out anywhere else. So please understand this. Do not write stories which are not of an authentic nature. And just for your 1 minute of titillation, you are putting lives in danger. Yes, just I will answer. Yes.
Mr. Yassin Abbas, who's the president of the Red Crescent in Iraq, now he's given interviews saying that he has no idea about the Indians in captivity, and he says he's only aware of about 100 odd Indians who are missing, but there is no contact with them. Now the MEA has always maintained that it is a Red Crescent which has been the via media for the contact with the persons in 39 in captivity, on the basis of which it has also been ascertained that they are safe. Now, with the president of the Iraq Red Crescent denying that there is any contact, where does the official narrative go, sir?
I was exactly mentioning the same gentleman who had referred to you and your channel as trying to endanger the problems of Indians there. They have requested specifically not to put these things out on air. These are confidential transactions which are going around. So please understand these things. You are undermining conduits. You are undermining the privacy and the privilege between humanitarian agencies and hostages.
What is the situation of hostages?
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, we will get the mic.
Can you give us some situation of the hostages? How are they now? Have you been able to contact them, or can you give some reassurance to the family members?
I understand your concerns. We are all concerned. However, we will not get into a ball-by-ball situation of explaining. I have told you our assessment of it. I will reiterate that that assessment stands valid. And please understand, we are in regular touch. You have to trust us in terms of contacts that we are establishing there. There is no need to be lone rangers and try to work these things out individually, because it is not responsiveness to try and get this information and trouble those who are working as troubleshooters. Yes, sir.
So the question is on a third topic, not
yes,
Singapore.
If anybody else has anything on this, then we could move to something else. No, first on this. Anyone else on, no, I know what he wants. We will wait for that. Is there anybody else on Iraq? And then we could move to something else. Iraq? Yes, please. Amrita?
So our estimate was that this week the government is facilitating 600 Indians to leave, and you said also that there are several who don't want to. Is there an estimate on that number, or how many are?
Yes, 450 of them who were contacted today in a big factory indicated that they would not want to come. So the numbers of who don't want to come are approximately, as of now we haven't contacted everybody. So I've indicated to you about 1,000 have indicated that they would like to come. A similar number have indicated for a variety of reasons that they would like to stay back. But we haven't covered the total number, and therefore we cannot give you a correct estimate in terms of percentages. But that's the broad estimate. And I would like to also let you know, since there is no Nepalese embassy in Iraq, the Nepalese government has asked us to facilitate the return of their nationals. We have agreed, because we have the assets on the ground, we have a responsibility towards our neighbors, and we would be assisting and facilitating Nepalese nationals also to the extent possible, based on advice from the government of Nepal in this context. Anyone else on this? Otherwise, I will be willing to answer any other questions that you may like. No, you finish your chance. One question. Okay. Yes, Santosh? I will then, sure.
Sir, हाफिज सईद है तो
जरा माइक में बोलें आप.
हेलो, हाफिज सईद ने सर बीबीसी को एक इंटरव्यू दिया है, तो वो यहाँ पे अपना मोस्ट वांटेड है मुंबई टेरर अटैक में. पाकिस्तान गवर्नमेंट ने भी बोला है कि हम उसके खिलाफ मामला चला रहे हैं. ऐसे में क्या उसका इंटरव्यू करना सही है, या आप इसे किस तरह से देखते हैं? और
Santosh, I understand your question. मैं अंग्रेजी में अगर जवाब दूं तो बेहतर होगा, because I find it difficult to capture nuances in Hindi, although I try as far as possible. Now, it is not for us to question why a specific broadcasting agency or a media house wants to carry an interview of a UN designated terrorist group head and a UN designated terrorist organization. However, we find it incongruous that both within and outside Pakistan, Hafiz Saeed receives great latitude in peddling his malevolent and medieval ideas. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Sure. On another aspect, I understand that.
So the Japanese government today lifted the self-imposed ban on the collective self-defense. And some countries also already welcome this move, but while some others have apprehension. So what is India's reaction on this?
Look, this is a move approved by the Japanese government after careful consideration. I hope you will give us that time to carefully consider before we respond. We are not in the business of instant responses to a carefully considered decision. Yes. Rajiv?
Akbar, has India lodged any protest with China over its cartographic aggression and military incursion in Pangong Lake in Ladakh?
Rajiv, I am not aware of the details of the discussions which last happened, but I have told you previously that as far as issues on the border are concerned, we are confident that our brave sentinels of the border will give appropriate responses. Yes, Sinjoy?
Sir, you've seen reports on what Snowden has said about the NSA, the American NSA, snooping on the Bharatiya Janata Party. Has the Indian government, either here with the US Embassy or the Indian Embassy in Washington with the State Department, taken up the issue, wanted to know more about the subject, or asked for an explanation of any kind?
Sinjoy, at this stage, I have only heard, I haven't seen those reports. But that said, our view is pretty clear that it is extremely disconcerting that privacy laws in India are undermined, whether it is individual or organization. We have previously, when information trickled down to us, raised this issue with the concerned authorities in the United States, both here as well as through our embassy in the United States. If what you say is correct, we will follow the same process, because it is totally unacceptable that Indian organizations, Indian individuals' privacy is being transgressed upon, if that is correct. Yes, Padma Rao.
But just recently, I think about a week ago, there was a one-day meeting of all the High Commissioners of India in the SAARC region. I've actually been waiting to hear about that. Could you just summarize whether this was a one-off or whether this is a regular, or you plan to make it a regular feature? And also specifically whether anything was discussed on Sri Lanka?
Sure. I think I answered the question the next day since you were not there. But that said, I will answer it again for your benefit since you raised this question. This is not a one-off thing. The priority that the government of India gives to its neighborhood is well known. This was in pursuit of that policy. And therefore, the first meeting of heads of missions were related to those in the immediate neighborhood. Yes, when discussions take place here about the neighborhood, issues relating to Sri Lanka were discussed. These also included issues relating to what is actually a daily phenomenon in terms of the fishermen, and how do we move ahead on this. We intend to discuss this humanitarian issue with the Sri Lankan government in the next few days. We shall keep you informed about how we are moving on this shortly. But so far, let me tell you, about 170 Indian fishermen have been released in various groups since the new government came into office. We remain committed to pursuing this with the Sri Lankan government to find a longer term solution. Yes, sir.
About the mayor of the new Taipei city of Taiwan, Eric Zhu Lilun, is right now in India for 6-day visit. He is thought to be one of the most possible presidential candidates in 2016. I wonder if there will be any arrangement for interaction between Mayor Zhu and Indian officials as well as the state governments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I can confirm that this is a purely private and personal visit, and no interaction of the sort you indicated is being planned for. Yes, Shubhajit?
So, the reports that U.S. Senator John McCain and U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry will be visiting India this month. Is it correct?
Shubhajit, I can confirm that Senator John McCain is coming, and because it is in the next tomorrow and day after, he will also be meeting the External Affairs Minister. I can confirm that too, tomorrow. That said, about Senator Kerry, Secretary of State Kerry, as you are aware, India, he had indicated an interest in having an early meeting with his counterpart, which is the who is the External Affairs Minister. Given various permutations and combinations that we have looked at, it is likely that Secretary of State Kerry will be visiting India. The dates will be finalized and we'll be informing you shortly about it, because as you know, we only tell dates very close to the actual event. Yes. Dr. Akhilesh Suman, last question, unless there is somebody else on something else.
Yeah. Actually, a French foreign minister is here, and today he met Prime Minister also. You might have hinted something, but I wanted to know that he was signaling about inordinate delay in defense deal with India. What is the takeaway for France from this visit?
What is France's takeaway is for the French embassy spokesperson to explain. I had mentioned to you when this matter was raised yesterday, I said that he was going to, subsequent to his talking to you, he was going to meet the Indian Defense Minister, and it would be best to address your question to those who were present there. I was unfortunately not there. Thank you very much.